start of Tish's new allotment adventure. It's the 31st of January 2020. We're hoping things are going to look a lot different by the end of the year.
Place where the burning will take place.
So this is Tish's first visit to her new kingdom.
I'm enjoying it.
She's enjoying it already. It does look a fair bit of hard work. Let's take a look from the front. See a fox going across the driveway. Here we are at the front, but unfortunately this plot here isn't ours. This is our neighbour from opposite. So this is ours from the front. This is down here for a possible bed going forward. Another fox taking a good look.
Oh, ours is 92.
Ours is 92, yeah.
Do you know if 93 has been taken?
I don't think so at the moment. So it's now the 2nd of February. Already seeing a bit of a difference, hopefully. I've just been clearing a small section here. Only been here for about half hour, building on what Tish was doing on Sunday. Her using the big clipper, me just going through with some secateurs and moving a lot of the thorns into a pile behind there. So hopefully this area now does look a bit different from how it did just a few days ago. Let's take a look at some other people's plots. This is the guy directly behind us, or in front of us, and this guy actually does a blog. These are the plots alongside us. I can already hear plenty of bird activity in the trees behind. And yesterday, or a couple of days ago, we did actually meet our neighbours on this side who are just starting off as well. Okay, so while Tish is at work today, I've been trying to clear a bit of this area here, and I've managed to clear a bit of stuff off there, which is piled up there for the moment. I've also been having a go at this tree with the £2 saw I bought from Poundland yesterday. It should be called £2 really. I've managed to get a fair bit off that tree, which is now down here. But I don't want to do too much clearing, or too much sawing at least, until the boss is on hand to give instructions. There's plenty of bird song this afternoon. We did just have a visit from a blue tit, or a couple of blue tits that landed in the tree just there in front of me. Perhaps little knowing that the branch they landed on might not be there very much longer, but still it's nice to see them. And these trees are just a few yards down from the back of our plot. Don't know if you can hear that bird sound. I'm not quite sure what it is. Only a bit more tunefully than that. I'm going to try to check it out. I can't see anything. We're now about a week into February. It's been lightly snowing all day, but not settling. So I've come over here for an hour or so. I seem to have the entire allotment to myself at the moment. So I'll just try to do a bit more clearing. Just some signs of the snow by the side of the shed. I was working on this area a couple of days ago, so I'll just probably move up here a little bit. I think our next door neighbours were here yesterday doing a fair bit of work and getting quite a lot cleared. Seem to be clearing this area here and making quite a good job of it. Okay, I think we might be starting to see the wood for the trees, as it were, because quite a lot of this tree is now piled up here. The following day there's been a bit more snow and the boss has come over to inspect with a new power saw. As you can see, we've got a robin come to visit us. Seems quite happy to share this little space with us. In fact, there's two robins there, so they're not trying to fight each other off, so maybe they've formed a pair. A fair bit done before it's got dark, so we've got a lot of that tree down. We've had a go at this tree as well, but we're now calling it a day. There's Tish disappearing into the distance. It's mid-February. We've had a few days off because it's been a bit cold, but here we are both back here again for an hour or so. Well, we can definitely see progress being made. Well, I think my next job is to get a lot of this cut up and maybe get some of it into a pile, maybe down here. This is an area we've got pretty well clear over the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago it looked very much like that, which is mainly on the next plot, although some of that is still on ours, so there's still a bit of work to do there. This robin is now becoming a regular visitor. I see him most days I'm here. Today's job has largely been cutting some of this up into more manageable size, which I've now stored here, together with a few logs here that probably need sawing. So it's the 1st of March. We're now almost exactly a month into this allotment adventure. Certainly looking a lot clearer than it was. Jack next door has got his shed up. I think he's also had his first bonfire over the weekend. It's still early March. We've now trying to get rid of some of the rubbish. So a couple more fires going. Meanwhile, at the back of the site, we're actually starting to see the ground for the first time. Okay, our fire's burning long into the evening. Foxy's come back to see us today. Well, we're starting to move further up the plot now. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening on the 18th of March. We're making progress still, and the plan tonight is to maybe home in on that, get a bit more fire going, and that'd be quite a lot of our rubbish gone by then, of our waste.
I need
Setting a fire going.
I hope it won't.
Then getting on with some digging. We do seem to have the entire allotment to ourselves this evening. Just ourselves, a few birds, and I'm sure 1 or 2 foxes. It's 6:30, it's getting dark, but a momentous moment really, as Tish has now reached the very end of the plot, meaning she's dug the whole length. If you wonder why you never see any pictures of me working, I'd claim it's because I'm always holding the camera, but Tish might have other ideas on that. Okay, we've got about a week of March left, and as you can see, we've now tilled all the way to the back of the ground. My job for the next few days is just breaking up the earth a little bit. Incidentally, a bit of blossom starting to grow on the tree. We're still not sure if this is a pear tree or a plum tree or what it is, but I think this might be the pear tree. We'll find out soon enough. I think they're both fairly early bloomers. It could be that the other tree here is the plum tree. This tree is actually on no man's land. It's between ours and Jack's, so I think we share the fruit of this, if it has any. Okay, my job at the moment is just breaking up the soil. This is the patch I've been working on for about half an hour so far today. A couple of days ago I was working on this area here, so still a fair way to go. And at least one more fire to be had. Notice that Jack next door's got his shed fully up now and a fence around it to keep the kids in. So we're about a week from the end of March. We've just agreed that we're right on course with where we hope to be at this time.
Yes.
We wanted to have first dig completed by the end of March, and it has been. We're now really on the second stage. The rain suddenly appeared, so we think it's time to call it a day after a good hour or so's work. Okay, main objective of the day achieved. We've reached the back. There's still quite a lot of mess you can see down there. There's quite a lot of things to be cleared, but there's quite a lot that has been cleared. That's all I'll say there. I'll head back home now. I think there's a Boris briefing about to start, as the restrictions are largely ended today, I think, or so a lot of the restrictions are. It's the first day of April, and we've been given this section here a good dig between us. Tish says it's close to being ready for planting, so I believe her. This tree's now in the lead in the blossom stakes. So you can see a lot of blossom also in the hedges behind our plot. It's 21st of April. I've been the one over here the last couple of weeks mainly doing the digging, and now starting to level it out. So thinking we're not that far from being ready for planting. This is the first time Tisha's come over for a couple of weeks, but she seems happy with what we've got to so far. So I think we're now getting close to where we want to be and soon ready to start planting. Still need to do some levelling work at the back here. Well, it's 27th of April, and I think at least the front of the plot is now pretty much ready for planting. Clearly still work to be done further back, but I think nevertheless we're going to bring this first section of the video to a close now. The site is largely clear, and later on in the week we hope to move on to section 2, which will be actually growing things. Clearly still work to be done further back, but I think nevertheless we're going to bring this first section of the video to a close now. The site is largely clear, and later on in the week we hope to move on to section 2, which will be actually growing things.